Hello from London. How are you? My name is Anna English. That's right, English is my middle name. I am live here now, coming to you from London, which is where I live. And today we're doing an English lesson to learn all about the verbs make and do. When do we use the verb make? And when do we use the verb do? Sometimes it can be very confusing, and many of my students make regular mistakes when it comes to these tricky little verbs. So today we're going to explore all about these verbs, how and when we use them. So I'm very happy to welcome you all back again. If you are seeing me for the very first time, then welcome. I'm very pleased that you found this channel. This is a mixture of live lessons and pre-recorded lessons, and we cover many different topics and pronunciation and lots of different things to help you with your English. So if you are serious about learning English, then make sure you've pressed the subscribe button. If you're returning to me having seen me before, welcome back. I'm very glad to see you again. And also a big hello to my patrons. Hi patrons, how are you? Should we make this a little bit smaller, or bigger rather, so that people can see the writing here on the wall? Hello Olga, hello Jason, I've got Gal in, Andreas, Camille, Letty, hello, lovely. It's better, Jason, to chat to me here so that I can definitely see your comment. So the Patreon comment Skype group is for patrons only. Patrons are people who are able to support this channel in a financial way so that I can come to you more often with live lessons, create more content for you, and to help me cover the costs of creating all this content. So in return, they get a little bit of extra love and attention from me, as well as lots of other rewards as well. So if you'd like to become a patron, then the link is in the description of this video, and we more than welcome you. One of two of you have already asked me about Super Chat. So, as you know, I always make notes for these lessons, and today is no different. So I've made a whole bunch of notes today about make and do, and if you would like to get your hands on these notes, then I'm giving these away as a thank you to anyone who drops a super chat. A super chat is just a way of tipping the channel. Again, all tips go into helping this channel to grow. And you can do the super chat by hitting the $sign next to the emoji sign in the comments box below. And then once you've done that, just drop me an email to say that you dropped me a super chat, and I will send you over the notes. All right, so let's get started, shall we? So let's jump straight into it. We have make versus do. Two verbs regularly confused by students. So what is the difference, and when should we use these verbs? So here we go. The verb do is what we're looking at first of all, do. Now I've written this sentence. You are obliged to do general work and training. Now you might be confused by this. This is my way of trying to help you remember when we use do. All right, so it's just a silly sentence, but hopefully this sentence will help you to remember. Maybe not, everybody has different methods of learning. So this is just one way that could help. Hi Ivan, I'm glad you're here. So you are obliged to do general work and training. And this is because the word do is used with activities that we are obliged to do. It's used when we're talking about things in general. It's used when we're talking about work, and it's used when we're talking about training. All right? So if you're very beginner level, if you're beginner level with your English, you're very early on in your English learning, then just so you know, the verb do basically means perform. It means an action, to do an action. And we use it when we're talking about things we're obliged to do, when we're talking about things generally and not specifically. We use it when we're talking about work and when we're talking about training. So let's go into this in more depth. So let's talk about in general. If we're talking about something in general and we're not being specific, for example, if we use the word something, okay, then we would use the verb do. Now, I haven't put it in this opening sentence. How could I put it into this opening sentence? I could change it to the past form of the verb and say, did you say something? And make it a question. Did you say something? So there's the verb do, obviously in the past, did. Did you say something? If I want to use it just in its normal form, I could say, do you want to say something? Do you want to say something? Do you want to say something? So this is just it's being very general, isn't it? It's not very specific. So we use do. Sorry, that's not a very good example again either, actually. We do it like this. Do you want to do something? That's better. There we go. That works. Do you want to do something? So I'm not being specific at all. I'm being very general. Do you want to do something? Do you want to do something? I could just say, should we do something? Should we do something? Should we do something this evening? Okay, so I'm not being specific. Also, we could use it with anything. I can't do anything about it. So if the father comes home and the children are crying, the babies are crying because they're not feeling very well, and the father says to the mother, "Mother, can you keep those children quiet?" The mother said, "I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it." All right? And it's also used with the word nothing. He had nothing to do with it. You could also say, I do nothing. What do you do? I do nothing. I suggest you do nothing. If you see two men having a fight, it would be suggested that you do nothing, apart from perhaps phone the police. But do nothing, do not get involved, do nothing. And if you do nothing, then you can say, I had nothing to do with it. That fight outside the pub last night, I had nothing to do with it. And finally, if we use the word everything, you always do everything. It's true of this YouTube channel. People say to me, who does your artwork? Who does the thumbnails? I do. Who films your videos when you do pre-recorded videos? I do. Who does the editing? I do. Who does the sound? I do. Who does all the performing on the camera? I do. Who does all the social media? I do. So you mean you do everything? Yes, that's right. So I do everything. So there we go. We use do anytime we're using words like something, anything, nothing, or everything. Okay? So that's the general part. We also use do when we talk about work. When we talk about work. So when I say work, I mean when you're talking about your job, when you're talking about housework or chores, when we're talking about any kind of obligations, or when we're talking about like life admin, things that you don't want to do but you have to do. Have you heard the phrase life admin before? Anyone? I think some of my gold members and my patrons may have heard of life admin. Can anyone tell me what life admin means? Be interesting to know how many people actually know what life admin means. Anyone? Anyone talking to me? I think there's a slight delay, so when I ask a question, I don't get an answer straight away. For those of you asking, the time here in the UK at the moment is nearly 4:20. Okay. Okay, some of you making some guesses. Life admin is refers to the things that you have to do, like paperwork, like emails and letters and stuff that you have to do for life, like your banking, like sorting out your gas bill, like replying to the tax man if the tax man has sent you a letter, like sorting out your pension or your will. So anything that requires administration, emails, phone calls, just any kind of administration around your life, not your job, something you have to do, then that's called life admin. It's probably a slang phrase, I would imagine, but most people, most natives use it on a regular basis. I can't come out this evening, I've got lots of life admin to deal with. Okay, so life admin. Great. Some of you hearing that for the very first time. Some of you on Skype refers to one's personal day-to-day chores that are of an administrative nature. Good, good, very nice. It's a really good explanation. Fabulous. Okay. Yep, lots of you are right with that one. So let's carry on. So, business. If we're using the word business, we'd say, it was a pleasure doing business with you. So if you've just met a client or someone has bought something from you, or you are in a partnership with someone else with your business, then when you finish your deal or you finish your meeting and everything is wrapped up, then you say, good, it was a pleasure doing business with you. Or you may ask the question, you work for this company. What does your business do? I don't understand. What does your business do? I'd like to know more about your business. What does your business do? You wouldn't say, what does your business make? Okay, unless you're talking about money, and that's something we're going to talk about a little later on. So it was a pleasure doing business with you. What does your business do? If we're talking about homework, quite a lot of you here are students. Obviously, you are here with me learning now. But if you are given homework, you would use the word do. Did you do your homework? So your parents or your teacher may say to you, now, did you do your homework? What would your answer be? Would you say, no, I didn't do my homework? Or would you say, yes, of course I did my homework. I always do my homework. Thank you very much. Okay. Lots of you asking me, am I on Twitter? Yes, I am on Twitter. All the links for my social media should be in the description box below this video. Sławek, did you do your homework? Sławek says, no, I didn't. I didn't have time. So, no, I didn't. That's the full stop. I didn't have time. So you'd have to put it in there twice. Okay? Fabulous. I didn't do my Spanish homework yet, says Anne-Marie. Oh, Anne-Marie, you need to get it done. You need to get it done. Okay, let's carry on. So we could also say, they will do a project this week. So we're not just using these words like homework and business. We could also use any words around work. So at school, you might be given a project to do. At work, you might be given a project to do. So you'd say, I need to do my project. They will do a project. Did you do your project this week? Okay? And then we can use do when we're talking about a work or a job in general. You do a job. We have a job to do. We have a job to do. So if you and I are if we work as gardeners and we've turned up at a new client's garden at their property and you are too busy talking to the nice man on the street, you're having a conversation about, I don't know, football or motor cars or something, and I say to you, excuse me, stop talking, we have a job to do. Okay? I wouldn't say we have a job to make, I'd say we have a job to do. Let's go. Flavio says, I think your classes are exhilarating. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Gal has asked, admin is, so we'd say admin is short for administration. I understand what you mean, but the correct term is short for. Admin is short for administration, question mark. Yes, it is. Admin is short for administration. Okay. What's the difference between work and job? That's a really good question. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the actual. So, a job is the specific position. So my job is I am a teacher. The work I do is I teach. I teach, that's my work, that's what I do. So work is more about the doing and the job is more about the position. Does that make sense? So I would say now, I am working, I am at work. I wouldn't say I'm at my job, which I hear a lot of students say. You wouldn't say I'm at my job. You have a job. You have a paid position in a company, you have a job, but you then work that job. So every day you go to work. At work, you work. You work hard at your job. You work hard at work. It's quite confusing, I can understand that. But generally, we wouldn't use the word job other than saying I have a job or I don't have a job, I need a job. Then everything else, we generally use the word work. I'm going to work, I need to be at work. Are you working at the moment? I'm at work, I'm leaving work. So use work more often than job. All right? I hope that's helped. I know it can be very, very confusing. Even I find it confusing and I'm a native. If you are here, and I have 191 of you here. Hello, that's lovely. If you are here and it's the very first time you're here, please press subscribe. And do I even dare look at how many thumbs we've got? No, I won't. I won't. I'll leave it for a little while. Maybe if I leave it for a little while, I'll be pleasantly surprised later. Because you all know I love a thumb. So if you are having fun here, then please, or not fun, but if you find this useful, then please press the thumb button. Okay, so we have a job to do. Or I might say, do you do work? Do you do that? Did you do? I can't even read my own writing. Did you do that work I asked you to do? Did you do that work I asked you to do? So I asked you to do work. I'm asking you now, did you do what I asked you to do? Lots of do's. Do. Although if you say do, I think that's a very babyish term for poo. So do, don't put that together. Okay, let's carry on. So we can also use it when we're talking about housework. So any kind of household chores. She did all the housework. Yes, that's like me. The domestic goddess. We say about people who do lots of housework, make beautiful food, always look after their family. You would call them a domestic, this is for women only, by the way, a domestic goddess. A domestic goddess. If it's the man, then you say a domestic god, but more often than not, we say a domestic goddess. So I am a domestic goddess, and I did all the housework. I did, so that's the past, I did all the housework. Okay, so homework and housework are the same, question mark, says Thomas. And no, homework and housework are very different. Housework includes ironing, hoovering, or vacuum cleaning, cleaning the carpets, washing up, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the bedroom, doing the laundry, any work you do on the house, and it's normally to do with cleaning, cleaning and maintaining the house is housework. Homework is specifically related to training, studying, any tasks, usually administrative, like writing or researching, So they're tasks set by your teachers normally, or if you're in a job, in your work, you might be set some work to do at home. So I've got some homework to do, but normally we use homework as a student. So your teacher will set homework. Very different to housework. If you say I've got housework to do, I imagine you wearing big rubber gloves and washing the dishes and doing the laundry. If you say I've got homework to do, I imagine you on the computer or writing an essay. All right? Very different. So here you can also use it. We're not just using it with the word housework. She refuses to do the housework. You can also use it with any of the housework type tasks. So I need to do the ironing. I need to do the ironing. You wouldn't make the ironing, you do the ironing. Do the washing up, I might tell you. I order you to do the washing up. Do the cleaning. Yes? So, housework. All right, so there we go. Do we're using with any kind of work, and do we're using when we're being very general and not specific about an action. But then also, we use it when we're talking about training. Training. So, if we're doing a course, I did a course at university. I did a course. So that's the past. I did a course. Or if it's presently happening, you could say, I'm doing a course. If you're doing it right now, you might say, I'm doing a course at university. I might say to you, what are you doing? I'm doing a course at university. I could also say, do you want to do the economics course? Do you want to do the economics course? I would love to do the economics course. Just jumping back, one of you has asked me, how do you pronounce ironing? Ironing. It's a silent R. Iron. It's almost got a Y sound in the middle. Iron. Iron. Ironing. Okay, hope that helped. You'd also use it, so we talk about training, so we could use it when we're talking about training our bodies. So we talk about exercise. I did, in the past, I did 20 sit-ups. Or, if it's a regular thing, then you could say, I do 20 sit-ups every day. I do 20 sit-ups every day. I do 20 sit-ups every day. Or you might say, I don't do exercise. Who here does exercise? And what type of exercise do you do? I'm interested to know. Do you do exercise? I might say to you, I advise you to do pull-ups every day. I advise you to do pull-ups every day. Every single day. Okay? I did some exercise today. I went jogging, says Kern. Good. So you did it this morning, so it's the past. I did some exercise. Good. Why do you have to use S in economics? I don't know why, but you always do. When we're talking about the subject, economics. Yeah? When we're talking about the subject, economics, it's always with an S. Gal, what is homeward? Homeward means you're heading in the direction of home. It means you're going home, or it's in the direction of home. Hope that helps. Ruben, yesterday I did, so it's in the past, good, 30 burpees and almost died. I'm not surprised. I hate doing burpees. They're horrible. So I'm not surprised that you almost died. Well done. 30 is impressive. All right, I knew this question would come up. So just so you know, a sit-up is when you are laid down on your back and you bring yourself up into a sitting position. So it uses your abdominal muscles. That's a sit-up. Yeah, so you literally sit up. A pull-up is where something is above your head, a bar, and you pull your whole body up. You pull your body up, so that's a pull-up. A press-up is where you are laid face down on the floor and you press the floor away from you. So you lift your body with your hands away from the floor. That's a press up. Okay? I hope that helps. Do you want to take up the economics course? Interesting, Morgan. I'm going to come to that in a moment. I try to do yoga every day. Good. And yoga is very good for you. Stretching and strength all in one. I'd like to do more yoga. I also did 40 sit-ups in the park, but now I'm drinking whiskey. Well, it sounds like you earned it. I do 60 push-ups every day. Hasm. Excellent. That's quite impressive. I can barely do 10 push-ups. What is obligation? Obligation is like your duty, what you are obliged to do. A mother and a father are obligated to look after their children. If you sign up as a teacher, I am obligated to educate you. If you sign up for my course, I have an obligation, I have a duty to look after your education. Okay, let's carry on. Difference between press up and push up, there's no difference, it's the same. So, other examples of when we use do. We also use it for things that we repeat a lot. So things you do a lot, then we use do. Do your nails. So this is for everyone. I guess everyone has to cut their nails and maintain their nails. You don't want to have really long nails. So ladies obviously will paint their nails. Some men paint their nails. But everyone has to maintain their nails by cutting their nails. So they do their nails. I need to do my nails. You do your hair. So if I need to make my hair look nice because I'm going out for the evening, then I'm doing my hair. I'm putting my hair up. I'm just doing my hair, darling. I might say, come on, we need to go out. Like, yes, I'm just doing my hair. Okay, so you do your hair. You might be making your hair look nice, but you are doing your hair. Okay? Probably made my hair a mess now. Gal says, can I say I do mountain biking? Yes, you can say that. So what else can we use do with? You can say you can do a thing. You can do a thing, or sorry, do your thing. So this is an expression that we use a lot at the moment in the UK. I might say to you, what's a good example of this? If you are very good at talking to strangers, if you are very charming and funny and you have your own way of doing it, you have your own way of speaking to people that's quite different, and you say to me, Anna, I'm going to go and speak to those people over there, do you mind? Then I'd say, no, go and do your thing. Go and do your thing. And then if someone comes over to me and says, Anna, what are they doing over there? I'd say, oh, he or she, he's just doing his thing. She's just doing her own thing. Like, don't worry. They're fine. So to do your thing, to do your thing. Let's have a look. What are you patrons saying here? Have you ever done? So this would be had. Because if you have style, you have style. You don't do style, you have style. Okay? So you would say, have you ever had a curly hairstyle? But actually the proper question, the better question would be, have you ever had curly hair? Okay, and you use had because we're talking about the noun hair. Do you have hair? Do you have curly hair? Have you ever had curly hair? All right. Hope that helps. Ladies would also, well, I say ladies or men, would also do their makeup. Do your makeup. So I make my face look nice by doing my makeup. I think I've done my makeup a little bit heavy today. Sometimes I put my makeup on in the dark and then I look at myself on the screen and it's all like, wow, goodness, scary, scary makeup. Anna, have you heard the expression? I've heard an expression and I don't really understand its meaning. What does to commute mean? To commute means to travel to and from work. So I commute to work. It just means to travel to. And it means any form of transport. So it can be driving, taking the train, taking the bus. It's the commute. The commute is the journey to and from. All right. Okay, let's carry on, shall we? How are we all feeling? We've got over 200 people here. Hello, everyone. Lovely to have you here. It makes me very happy. It makes me very happy that I'm reaching so many people. If you are here, new here, please press subscribe. And shall we just take a moment to look at how many thumbs we've got? Wouldn't it make me happy? Oh, 132 thumbs. Wow. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Let's carry on. So I'm talking here about exceptions. So some of the exceptions are you take a shower. You take a shower. Obviously, a shower is a regular thing. It's something that's you could say it's almost a chore. It's something you have to do it on a regular basis. So you would think that we would say do a shower, but you don't do a shower. You take a shower, or you have a shower. Take a shower or have a shower. You might also, well, you might not have a shower, you might, and over in London, you're lucky if you have a bath, because most places here are so small that we can't fit a bath in the bathroom, which is funny. We still call it a bathroom, but there's no bath in there. So you would take a bath or you'd have a bath. The other exception, I did say that you use do with any kind of housework. Yeah, housework is the cleaning the house. But you don't say do the bed. You say make the bed. That's the only real exception for housework. You make the bed. All right? Did you make the bed this morning? Do you make the bed every day? I try to. I feel better for some reason. I feel better when I wake up, I make the bed, so that every time I walk into the bedroom, the bed is made and I feel more relaxed about everything when I have a nice made bed. It is beneficial to take a shower. You're absolutely right. Okay, let's carry on. Also, we have, you can take a course and you can do a course. So we previously said you do a course. What course are you doing? But you can also say take a course. I'm taking a course in economics. I'm going to take a course this summer. Exactly the same as do. You can use it as and when you wish to. You'd ask someone to do you a favour. Do me a favour. Could you do me a favour? Could you do my mum a favour? I did a favour for my friend today. So that means to help somebody without reward sometimes. You do a crossword. A crossword is a puzzle with words. It's a game. You do a crossword. You don't make a crossword. If you make a crossword, then you're the one who's actually creating the crossword for other people to do. But most people don't create crosswords, they do a crossword. You can also use do good. Do good. And this is, it just means to do well, really. So I could say, did you do good today in your exam? You could say, yeah, I think I did good. I think I did a good job. Okay. And the last one I've got here is to do damage. So if you crash your car and you come into the house and say, oh, I've just crashed my car, it's awful. And I'd say, how much damage did you do? Did you do any damage? Did you do any damage to the other person's car? So you don't make damage, you do damage. All right? Okie dokie, what are you guys saying? Which version is more useful in the UK? Have a shower or take a shower? They're both the same. They're just both the same. You can say, I'm going to go and have a shower. I'm going to go and take a shower. No one would think any different of you, whichever one you used. It doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, Anne-Marie's just made a really good point. And I'm going to write it here on these notes. We take, I see this all the time, we take a photo. We take a photograph. We don't do a photo or make a photo. We take a photo. We take it. It's like we steal it. We see a moment that is beautiful and we steal it and keep it forever. We don't create it ourselves. I mean, we do, but it's an image that we didn't create. It was already there. We just stole that moment. So we take it. You take a photo. So just think about it. I take a photo. So think about that finger on the what's the word? On the button that. What is the word for that? On the button for on the camera. There is a word, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. If anyone can tell me, I'm more than happy for you to help me. So you press the button, and when you press the button, you steal that photo. So you take the photo. Okay? Oh, Victor, you can't pay attention because you're at work. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, so here we go. Let's carry on, shall we? Hello, if you're just joining me for the first time, it's lovely to see you here. We are talking about the difference between make and do. We've just covered do, and now we're going to talk about make. I found it very hard to come up with a sentence for this one, but a helpful sentence might be speaking of intangible food creates money. So this is a sentence I've put together to try and help you remember some of the different ways we use make. We use make when we're talking about speaking. We use make with intangible things. We use make with food. We use make when we're talking about creating something. We use make when we're talking about money. So let's start with speaking. So we make a speech. The best man made a speech. The best man made a speech. Now, do you know what I'm talking about when I say the best man? I don't mean the man that is the best of all men. He is the best of all men. The best man is the best friend or the person chosen by the groom. The man who is getting married chooses a best man. So the groom, the man who's getting married, chooses a best man. It'll either be his brother or his best friend, or his brother or his best friend. Okay, so the best man must do a speech at the weddings. The best man speech is a very, very famous tradition here in the UK. When people get married here in the UK, the best man does a speech, and it's supposed to be funny, and it's supposed to embarrass the groom a little bit. So to do a speech. To do a speech. Okay, so the best man made a speech. So we'd say made a speech. He did a speech, but normally we'd say make a speech. Okay? You would make a comment. So I could say, did you make a comment? Question. You normally see the paparazzi, the press, who are outside maybe a police station or a court building. Maybe there's a case going on, or they're outside someone's house. Maybe there's a scandal, and you'll see them when the person they're waiting for comes out of the building. You'll see them going, "Hey, can you make any comments on this? Would you like to make a comment?" And they're shoving the microphone in the person's mouth. "Have you got any comments to make?" And they'll always use the word make rather than do. Okay? You make a joke. She's always making jokes. So we never do jokes, we make jokes. So we make speeches, we make comments, we make jokes. We make a call. So I'm so sorry. I can't carry on, I have to make a call. Or I have to make a phone call. Sorry. You can also use the word call not to mean a phone call, but to mean a decision. That was a hard call to make. In this case, call means decision. That was a hard decision to make. That was a hard decision to make. I need you to make the call. It's a hard call to make, but I need you to make that call. Okay? One of you said, what about the bride's best man speech? The bride doesn't have a best man. The bride has a chief bridesmaid. She had a chief bridesmaid, and the chief bridesmaid doesn't make a speech. Okay? Well, I mean, not in a traditional wedding anyway. So we also use make when we're talking about noise. She's making I made a typo there. Oh no, she's making strange noises, because we're talking about noises, not a noise. She's making strange noises. So imagine an old lady has collapsed on the street, and we're going, is she all right? I don't know. Is she okay? I don't know. She's making strange noises. She's making very strange noises. I'm very concerned about her. Okay? Or you might say to the children, can you stop making such a racket? Racket means loud noise. Can you stop making such a racket? The children are making so much noise, it's keeping me awake. So to make noise. Okay? I hope that helps. Let's carry on. So, we also, after speaking, we said the word intangible. We use make when we're talking about intangible things, things that you cannot touch and feel and see and hear. So they're things that come out of our heads. Well, intangible just means something you can't touch, okay? But in this case, a suggestion is what we're talking about. So, may I make a suggestion? Try to remember this phrase. We use this phrase a lot. So perhaps, for example, my YouTube channel. Obviously, I'm learning, and every day I'm trying to make my content more accessible and to make the content better for you and useful for you, because this channel is all about you. And so sometimes my students say to me, hi Anna, may I make a suggestion? I think it would be really good if you tried this, or I don't think this works very well, but it's just my suggestion. I hope you don't mind me making a suggestion. So my students regularly make suggestions to me on how they think I can improve what I offer to you. So beyond suggestion, we can also make a choice. You need to make a choice. So once you've made that choice, it's almost the same as decision really. Once you've made that choice, then the choice has been made. And everyone is happy. Finally, the choice has been made. You can also make a mistake. Now I hear a lot of students saying, oh, I do a mistake. I did a mistake. You don't do mistakes, you make mistakes. Okay, so you make mistakes. Jana has said, does tangible mean something you can touch if intangible is something you can't touch? Yes. Yes, that's right. Tangible, things you can see and touch. So this is tangible, I am tangible, this poo is tangible, tangible poo. The love heart eyes are tangible, okay? So these are tangible things. Intangible are my thoughts, the air, my courage, anything that you cannot see, experience, feel. In fact, I think air is probably a tangible thing. The difference between tangible and intangible it can be quite confusing, but just think of the basics. Can you touch it? Can you see it? Can you feel it? If so, it's tangible. Okay. So what am I doing? I'm going back to my notes. Here we go. So we've got to make a mistake. So you make a mistake. You make an effort. I often ask my students to make an effort. If they really want to improve, they have to make an effort. I make an effort to provide you with English lessons. I want you to make an effort to use them. I was discussing with one of my students this morning about how to learn well and how to help yourself to improve fast. And one of the things you can do is to repeat lessons that have been given to you. So for example, I did a lesson on the difference between a and an, when you should use a and when you should use an. I did a lesson on how to pronounce ed endings. And many of you will watch those lessons once. But if you want to remember those lessons long term, you have to make an effort to go back and watch those lessons again later down the line so that you can remember those lessons thoroughly. So I make an effort, you make an effort. We should all make an effort. Okay, make an effort. Sky, you said put more effort on it. You'd put more effort into it if you're going to use that one. Into it. Chow has said how to send a super chat. For those of you who want to send a super chat and you want to receive the notes, then your donations are more than welcome. All you have to do is click the dollar sign, which is next to the emoji sign. You follow then through, put how much you want to donate, and then you put in your details, and then you write the comment that you want to make. You press send, and then it will flash up so that I can see it and so that everyone can see that comment. All right, and then later I'll send you the notes. Okay, let's keep going. So we have to make an effort. You make a promise. Has anybody here made a promise recently? I will make you a promise. I promise that as long as you keep attending my lessons, and as long as, here's the conditional, as long as you continue to support what I'm giving you, and as long as you're enjoying what I'm doing for you, I promise, I make you the promise that I will always provide content. I will always put you first. That is the promise I am making. So can you make me a promise that you will always turn up to class? Can you make the promise that you will always show me a thumb? Okay, obviously these are promises that you don't have to make. I'm just using it as an example. So I will make you a promise. If someone broke their promise, you could say, I don't understand, but he made a promise. He made a promise not to cheat on me. He made a promise to always be loyal. She made the promise to look after my cat, and then she didn't. So you make a promise. You can also make a decision. You might hear this. We will let you know when we have made a decision. So if you've gone for a job interview, for example, and you might say to them at the end, how long until I find out the result of this interview? And they would say, oh, well, we'll let you know when we've made a decision. Yeah. One of you is just asking me now, how do you pronounce distinguish? Distinguish. And what does it mean? To distinguish is it's to identify, if you know what that word means. So if I can distinguish the difference between two people, it means I can see the difference between two people. There's other meanings as well. You could say someone is distinguished. It means that they are. It's very hard to help you with this one. Distinguished. Let me see if I can get a good definition up for you. If someone is distinguished, then it says here that they're very successful, authoritative. And they command great respect, and they could have a distinguished appearance, so they look successful and respectable, so to be distinguished. But to distinguish the difference is to be able to see, to know it. Okay? Good. Okay, let's carry on. Sorry, lots of you are sending comments. If I don't answer your comment, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. There's just so many here to answer. Okay, I'm going to carry on. So to make a decision, you might say, let's make a plan. So making a plan is similar to making a decision. So you say, let's make a plan. You don't do a plan, you make a plan. So you make a plan. And you might say, can you make up your mind? Did you make up your mind? To make up your mind is to make a decision. So I might say to you, I can't make up my mind what to cover in Friday's lesson. I'm so torn between doing future tenses or doing joined up connected speech. Oh, what should I do? I can't make up my mind. Obviously, I have to make up my mind. at some point. Yes, let's carry on. I'm really confused about this because different teachers have different versions here in my country. Someone would say making revision, while someone would say doing revision. I'm not sure which. I will tell you, absolutely, without doubt, you do revision. You don't make revision. Revision is work. Revision is homework. You do revision. Okay? You might make a revision plan because you make a plan, but you do revision, all right? And there is no doubt about that, so I hope that helps your confusion. You do revision. I might say, did you do your revision? You need to do a revision if you're going to pass your test. Let's make a revision plan, okay? Trust me, I'm a native. My middle name is English. I am Anna English. Okay. I might not know all the grammar rules, but I know what's right and what's wrong because it's my native language. You're very welcome. Okay, let's carry on with this exciting lesson. If you're enjoying this, guys, then please do press the thumb button and let me know that you're enjoying it. Where are we up to? Decision, expectation, exception. Exception. So you might hear to make an exception. So you've turned up to my party, my club. I have a club. It's official. I have this big club where everyone comes and has a great time, and only 25 years old and over are allowed into my club. So if you're under 25 years old, you can't come in, and you have to wear purple feathers in your hair. So you have to be wearing purple feathers and be over 25 if you want to enter my club, which is great fun. And you turn up and you have blue feathers, not purple feathers, and you're 24. And I say, oh, you're too young to come in and you're not wearing the right colour feather, so you can't really come in. And you say to me, but please, I've heard that your club is so much fun. And I'll say, well, it is good fun. It's amazing fun. And you say, please, please, please let me in, let me in. I will dance all night. I will tell everyone about your club. I'll tell everyone to come here if you let me in just this one time. And next time, I promise, I'll wait till I'm 25 and I'll wear purple feathers. And I'll say, okay, just this once, I will make an exception just for you because I like you. I will make an exception. So this one time, I'll ignore the rules. I'll make an exception. Have you ever had to make an exception for someone? Have you ever made an exception for someone? Suave. Oh, I've got here. So, Ruben, do you use in English an expression like make or do faces? I mean, like doing or making funny faces. You make a funny face, generally. So you make faces. So you might say, Mom, Mom. Because, what do you want? Mom, my brother's making faces at me. Because your brother's going, or doing all those silly faces. And she's like, oh, David, stop making faces at your sister. Okay, so make face. Make a face. So quickly back to this. Suavek, you had something to say. An exception makes a rule. Is an exception to the rule is what we normally say. An exception to the rule. This was an exception to the rules. Normally the rule stands, but you are an exception to the rule. Yeah? Okay, let's jump back over here. So we have make sure. You'll hear a lot. I will make sure it happens. To make sure is to be certain, to ensure something. So we always say, make sure you're home on time. It's the same as saying, be certain that you are home on time. Don't be late. Make sure you're home on time. Make sure you put petrol in the car before you return it to the car hire place. Make sure you plan your lessons before you teach. Make sure you're on time for your class. I need to make sure I have everything packed before I go on holiday. All right? What are we saying over here in the Patreon Skype group? Make is used in some expressions with the meaning of to be rich or to earn money. To make a fortune, make money, make profit. Oh, you're way ahead of me there. So bear with me, Olga. We're nearly getting over to that point, but you're absolutely right. So, make sure. Good. In fact, I'm just going to have a quick look at the comments here. So some of you chatting away over here, and I'm just going to make sure I haven't missed anyone who's absolutely desperate to get my attention. Oh wow, so many messages here. Oh goodness, I'm not going to be able to answer even half of these. I've got to make a decision to watch your singing lesson videos after this. Yes, Sky Blue, do make that decision to go and watch my singing lessons. If you don't know, guys, I do have a singing channel, so if you enjoy singing, go and have a sing-song. The link to that channel, I think, is in the description box, but it's called Verba Vocal, if you're interested. To make up a story is correct. Yes, that's right, to make up a story. To make up your mind, make up my mind equals confused. No, to make up your mind equals make a decision. To decide. I'm so happy to participate in your live lesson. You're very welcome. I'm glad you're here. Sky says, I've got a revision. No, you said, I've got to revise. I've got to revise. You'd never say, I'm gonna revision. You'd say, I'm gonna go and revise. But you wouldn't say, I'm gonna revision. That doesn't work. I'm gonna revise, you could say. So make is doing by planning, and doing is the action that I'm sorry, I don't understand that question one, I'm sorry. So Christabel says, did you do a lesson about cereal vocabulary? And the new cereal people is interesting on, and you, of course. Sorry if you did it. Again, I'm not quite understanding these comments. Sorry. All right, I'm going to carry on. Let's carry on. So, we also said that rather than just intangible and speaking, we also use make when we're talking about food. Now, you might make a meal, for example. So, I'm going to make her breakfast in bed. Breakfast in bed is a phrase that we use often. It means to have your breakfast in your bed. So you haven't got up yet, you're in your bed, under your covers, and you're eating your breakfast. So breakfast in bed. If we're treating somebody that we care about, if it's their birthday, or it's Mother's Day or Father's Day, you might make that person breakfast in bed. You don't do that person breakfast in bed, you make them breakfast in bed. So you make that person breakfast in bed. And then you might say, let's make lunch together. Basically, guys, one way to think of this is really easy. To do is to do something repetitive. Work, chores, you do it, exercise, to do the action, something repetitive. To make is to create. So when you make something, you have something to show for it at the end. Look, I made this meal. I made this. It didn't exist before. Now I've created it. You make it. Okay? It didn't exist before. You made it. Yeah? When you do the ironing, there is nothing at the end of it. The shirt was there before. You ironed it and the shirt is still there. You didn't make anything different. You just did the ironing. Okay? I don't know if that helps, but that helps me to remember. Make my dinner, please, I might say to you. We can also use make when we talk about drink, not just food. It's your turn to make a cup of tea. Please, it's your turn to make a cup of tea. Obviously, we love tea here, and we'll always say, who's making the tea? Would you like to make a cup of tea? I'd love you to make me a cup of tea. And we also use it with the word food. She never likes the food I make. She never likes the food I make. Or when we're talking about specific food, like my mum made cookies. Today I'm going to make a cake. Today I'm going to make a lasagna. I'm going to make a pizza. Okay. Okay, so I was just checking the comments, seeing I wasn't missing anything. So to create in general, so to make something completely new that's not food, you might say, look, I made a sculpture. I made a sculpture, so a piece of art, that not something on canvas, but something that you would see like in a square in a town, or something you put on the mantelpiece, a sculpture, made out of clay perhaps. What they made was a work of art. What they made was a work of art. Maybe they made up a dance routine. So here's one. You make up a dance routine. You make a dance routine. You make it, you create it, you put together the moves until you have a complete dance routine. But then when you're completing the dance routine over and over again, you're doing a dance routine. So I make it, I create the dance routine, I make a dance routine, and then I do the dance routine. A dance teacher might make a dance routine for the students to do. That might be quite a helpful sentence. The dance teacher makes a dance routine for the students to do. The students do the dance routine. The teacher makes the dance routine. I made this lesson. You do the lesson. Okay. I don't know if any of this helps you guys. I hope it does. Did you make that dress? You say, no, I didn't make it. I just bought it. Oh, okay. I made a list. I made a list of all my fabulous patrons. And what are they saying over here? I changed my mind and made a new decision. Perfect, Sławek. If you make money, you don't need a. Money is non-countable. Is that right? So we don't use a, but money's plural, basically. So if you make money, then you are a, so you need one here because you're a maker. You're a money maker. Yeah, so just move that a from there over to here, and that's perfect. We'd also say, I am always making a mess. When I'm having a filming day, when I'm doing a big filming day, I always make a mess in the kitchen. I don't do a mess, I make a mess. The mess didn't exist before, and now it exists. It's a mess. So I made a mess. So those of you who have children, you know your children are experts. They are experts. They're like professional mess makers. They can make a mess very quickly and very easily. You do knitting. You do knitting. So Arena has said, do you do knitting or make knitting? You do knitting because that's the action. It's very repetitive. Takes a long time. It can be, some people find it a chore, some people find it relaxing, but it's an exercise. You do it over and over again. And then at the end, the product is what you made. I made a scarf. I did my knitting every day for 3 months, and eventually I'd made a scarf. Okay? Isn't it to take an English lesson? Yes, you can take a class or do a class. I think we covered that earlier when we talked about courses. So look back here. Exceptions. No, I haven't written it. Okay, I'll put that in. So you do a course, but you can take a course. I'm sure I'd written this somewhere. Take a course or take a class. But otherwise you can, I have written it. It's written there. Silly, I knew I'd done it. So yes, it's written there. You take a course or do a course. One or the other, they're both the same. It's the same with class as well. Okay? Oh, well, let's find back where we were. So we were create. We can also talk about make when we're talking about creating something with a person. So you make friends. So lots of people, lots of you lovely students are regularly trying to make friends with me. And that's fine. I mean, I don't have enough energy in my fingers to type and make friends with, how many people do we have here? 33,000 people. and I have, I think, 40,000 people on my Facebook page. I can't make friends with everybody, but I'm happy to be your friend in general, to be your teacher, to help you. But lots of people make friends every day. So to make friends, sometimes if you have fallen out with your friend, if you've had an argument and you feel like you're no longer friends, then you might be told that you must make friends with each other. So it means to reunite. So it's not just to make friends the first time, it's any time you reunite after a fallout. So you've made up. You can say, we made up. We made friends. We made friends again. And you can also make love. I'm sure you've heard this expression, especially if you watched my video about me. To make fun of someone. Oh, why is my stream offline? No. Did I just lose you for a second? Oh, I'm back. I don't know why my stream went offline there. Hopefully you didn't miss anything. So we're talking about making love, and now we're talking about making fun. So are you all back with me? Is everything okay? Everything okay? Yes, good, okay. So, hopefully you're all with me, yeah? Yeah, good. Okay, so we make fun. To make fun of someone is to tease them. To make fun of someone is to tease them. Erwi has said make babies. Yes, so making love, then you might also make babies. If you create a life, something that didn't exist before, you make babies. Okay? But you can also make fun of someone, which is to tease someone. So if I don't know, someone might not like my accent. They might say, you have a British accent. And so if they're not British, perhaps they're I don't know, American, and they don't like my British accent, then they might be like, oh, hello, my name's Anna and I'm British. And so they're making fun of me. They're making fun of me, and I would say, don't make fun of me, please. It hurts my feelings. Vandally, you must be late to the lesson. We make a bed, not do the bed. We make the bed. Okay, what are my students saying? My patrons saying here, I make breakfast for my wife, not to my wife. I make breakfast for my wife in the morning. I make her dinner in the evening. I make her a cake in the afternoon. Make sure you put in the afternoon. And then, if I'm lucky, we may make love. Very nice gal. Good. You are a good husband. A very good husband. Let's carry on here. So we have, you should make up. Like I said earlier, to make friends. If you've fallen out with your friend, then you would make up. Okay, to reconcile your differences. So that brings us on to money. Money. This has been mentioned before. And I'm going to mention it again. Sławek, what are you talking about? Make instead of made. Where? Give me the sentence which you're trying to correct for me. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Make a living. You're absolutely right, Eminem. So let's talk about money, shall we? So, make money. Make money. We don't do money, we make money. So I might say, how much money do you make? So how much money do you make? And I might say, well, yesterday I made £100. Or last month I made £100. If you ask me how much money do I make, I would say not enough. If I asked how much money does, oh, I don't know. Someone famous, someone rich. How much money does Richard Branson make? Say, he makes a lot of money. And we also use it with the word profit. It's hard to make a profit these days. It's hard to make a profit these days. You make a profit. And profit is whatever is left from your money once you've paid your expenses. So, for example, any money that I earn, my expenses, my outgoings would be my electric, my house bills, my travel, maybe my internet, anything that you have to buy for your job, they are your expenses. And then anything left over that you can just spend on whatever you like, That is your profit. So how much profit did you make? How much profit did you make? One of you asking about my Manchester accent. How did I lose my Manchester accent? How did I gain a received pronunciation? What I speak is not really RP, it's quite soft standard British English accent. And I did it with a lot of hard work. And if you want to do it too, then I'll talk to you about a course that I have at the end of the lesson. Okay? But let's carry on talking about making money. One of you mentioned about making a living. And you're absolutely right. And we'd say make a living rather than do a living. So here, living. So I might say to you, I have to go to work. I have to make a living. And this is just to make enough money to survive. To make enough money to survive. So people ask me regularly, Anna, how do you make a living? And I would say it's very difficult at the moment. I do a lot of different things to try and make a living. You can also say if someone makes a lot of money, they make a fortune. So I might say that Virgin Airlines in their first few years made a fortune. Or someone right now makes a fortune. Someone who's very rich, they make a fortune. Okay, let's look at exceptions. So you can make a joke, but you can also say to crack a joke or to tell a joke. So all these different options, to crack a joke, to tell a joke, to make a joke. You can also pass comment. It's very, very similar to make comment, to pass comment. One to always remember, and this is a big one, we don't make a question. We don't do a question. We ask a question. So always use ask with question. Did you ask a question? I just want to ask a question. Could I ask you a question? Yeah? Okay. And then, I've made a little note here. Here's a note. Make do. So here's a little phrase that we use a lot, to make do. And this means to manage with what you have. For example, I have to stay at your house. I have to stay at your house for whatever reason. I have to stay at your house. I have to sleep overnight at your house. And you don't have a spare room. So I have to sleep in the front room downstairs, and you only have one little blanket that's not very thick. It's quite cold, and the blanket is very thin, and you don't have a pillow. So you give me something to, like some clothes to wrap up and put under my head. And you say, Anna, I'm so sorry, I don't have anything else to give you. Will that be okay? Are you going to be okay? Will you be warm enough? Will you be comfortable? And I'll say, oh, it's okay. I'll make do. I will make do. That means I will manage with what I've got. I'll make do. Don't worry. I'll make do. I'll make do with what I've got. So I will manage. I will be okay with what I've got. Okay. Yashia says, can I say have a question? You can say I have a question. You can say I have a question that I want to ask. I have a question. Excuse me, I have a question. Okay, please ask your question. What is it you want to ask me? Well, I want to ask you. Yeah, but we just never say make, and we never say do with the word question. All right. David has a question here. Anna, people make or do sex, love or whatever. They make love, they have sex. They make love, they have sex. Okay? So I have many questions I want to ask you, says Sky. Everyone always has lots of questions. I try and answer as many as I can. So let's see what else I've got here. So here's just a quick list of what you would generally say, what you generally see with the word do. You do a course, do a crossword, do a dance, do a drawing, do a favour, do a job, do a painting, do a project, do a service, do an assignment, do anything, do badly, do business, do chores, do damage, do everything, do exercises, do good, do harm, do nothing, do research, do right or do the right thing, do something, do the dishes, do the gardening, do the housework, do the ironing, do the laundry, do the rest, do the shopping, and that is as in what's left. So I might say to you, if you can clean the dishes that are on the side, I'll do the rest later on. So you just clean the plates and then I'll do the rest of the washing up later. I'll do the rest. Do the rest. Do the shopping. Do the washing. Do well. Do work. Do wrong or do the wrong thing. Do your best. Do your hair. Do your homework. Do your job. Do your nails. Do your work. Make a bet. Make a cake. Make a call. Make a change. Make a choice. Make a comment. Make a complaint. Make a confession. Make a connection. Make a cup of coffee. Make a cup of tea. Make a date. Make a decision. Make a demand. Make a difference. Make a discovery. Make a face. Make a fool of yourself. If you make a fool of yourself, it means you make yourself look foolish. You make yourself look silly. So I might say, I made a fool of myself last night when I had too much alcohol and started dancing like a crazy person. So I made a fool of myself. Make a fortune. Make a friend. Make a fuss. To make a fuss means to be dramatic about something, to make something bigger than it is. So suddenly a fly buzzes in my face and I'm like, oh, it's a fly in my face. I don't like the flies. And maybe I start crying, or I'm like, has the fly gone? Has it gone? Has the fly gone? I hate flies. I'm making a fuss. And that can be in a good way or a bad way. If you make a fuss over your child, it's like, oh, come here, I love you, child. Oh, let's clean your hair, child. Let's give you a kiss. I love my child. You're making a fuss of your child. To make a fuss. To make it a big deal when it isn't a big deal. Make a joke. Make a line. That's kind of like jokes. I'm going to take that one out. Make a list. Make a living. So remember we said that's to make enough money to live on. Make a loss. Opposite to make a profit. Make a mess. Make a mistake. Make a noise. Make a pass at someone. To make a pass at someone is to try to woo them. So if you fancy someone, if you really like them, you find them attractive in a sexual way, then you might make a pass at them. And that's like going over to them and being like, hey, can I have your number? Then that's to make a pass at someone, to try to chat someone up. To make a phone call. Make a plan. Make a point. Make a prediction. Make a profit. Make a promise. Make a reservation. Make a sandwich. Make a scene. Make a sound. Make a speech. Make a statement. Make a suggestion. Make advances, that means to progress or to try to move things forward. Make alterations, to change something. Make an appointment. Make an announcement. Make an attempt, so try. Make an effort, try again. Make an error, so to make a mistake. Make an escape. Make an exception. Make an excuse. Make an impression. make an observation, make an offer, make amends, so to fix something, make arrangements, make breakfast, make certain, make clear, make dinner, make faces, make famous, make fun of someone, make love, make lunch, make inquiries, make peace, make possible, make progress, make money, make room, so if you make room in your wardrobe for some new clothes, you clear space, make sales, make sense, so do you understand? Does that make sense? Is that clear? Make someone rich, something I hope I do for all of you, make someone smile, make sure, make trouble, make war, make your bed, and finally, make up your mind. Ooh, that was a long old list, wasn't it? So, I hope you found that helpful, guys. That is the end. Oh my goodness, I didn't see. I've just had I've had a super chat come through. So thank you very much, Hippolito, for making a donation towards the growth of this channel. Myself, and I'm sure everybody watching, thank you very much for that donation. All you have to do is drop me an email. The email is in the description of this video. Drop me an email and let me know that it was you who sent me the super chat, Hippolito, and I will send you the notes. So thank you very much. Just a quick note about that to everyone. I do get a lot of emails every day from people just saying, hi, I like your lessons, or hi, I want to learn English, or hi, how learn English. And it really slows down my work because I have to go through all of those emails, and as much as I appreciate you saying thank you and appreciate the love and support you give me, I would prefer that you do it on the videos, on the public forums, so it doesn't clog up my business email box, because sometimes if it gets too full it really slows down and it takes me so much time, and that's less time I can dedicate to making videos for you. So please only send me an email if it's a genuine business inquiry, or if you've sent a super chat and you'd like the notes for this lesson. I'd really appreciate your help on that. Thank you, guys. I hope you understand. I'm sure you do. Patrons, what are you saying here? Long story short, we must do the doings and make the makings. You're always so funny, Eric. Yes, you're right. We do the doings, make the makings. Alrighty. So, what are you guys saying here? Anna, can you explain to me more about makeup? So, me and you have had an argument because you didn't subscribe to my channel. So we've had a fallout. I'm angry with you. And then you're going to come and talk to me and you're going to say, oh, don't be angry with me. And I'll say, okay, I won't be angry with you. Shall we be friends again? Okay, we'll be friends. And that act of making friends again is making up. So when you've fallen out with someone and you get back together, you resolve the argument you've made up. We tend to use the phrase kiss and make up, to kiss and make up. So if two children are fighting, or two adults are fighting, say, look guys, please come on, kiss and make up. You don't really expect them to have a kiss, but we say kiss and make up. So forget the bad stuff, let's just all be friends. Kiss and make up. Hope that helps you. Okay, so lots of you now asking for my email. Guys, please don't send me emails. Please don't. Honestly, it really just slows down my working pace, and it slows down my inbox. I only expect an email from people who send me a super chat, or if you are a English provider of some sort and you have a proposition, you want to collaborate or something like that, okay? Please understand that, it's really important. I hope you have made it up with your wife after your quarrel yesterday. Who had a quarrel with their wife yesterday? I'm missing something. There's some gossip going on in the chat room here. Okay. Anne-Marie, is it I have a question or I have got a question? People say either I have a question perfectly right. And I have got a question, also right. Okay, so they're both interchangeable, they're both fine. Okay, so those of you who haven't been here for long, you're new here, I'm just going to explain a few things. So this here is the patron Skype group, and they get special access, and I always answer all of their messages, and that's because they're patrons. Patrons are people who support the channel, so they're people who are able to give financial support, even if it's just $1 a month, financial support to help me to help everybody else. What I do here is provide free education to anybody who needs it, and obviously it's hard for me to do that because I still need to pay my bills, and so my patrons help me to help you. So in return, my patrons get rewarded, and they get access to the Skype group, so they always get extra attention during my live lessons. They get other things like access to all my videos early. They get a bit of an insight. I tend to ask their opinions on things, and so they help me to mold the future content of this channel. Some of them, depending how much they offer, some of them get private Skype calls with me. There's also a prize draw every month for a private Skype call. So if you're a patron, you go into that prize draw. They get the notes for my lessons, depending on their level. Some of them get all the notes, some of them get some of the notes. So that's the patrons. If you want to be a patron, if you're able to support this channel, then you can look up the Patreon campaign page, which is in the description of this box, of this video, in the description box of this video. And yes, that's all. But if you can't contribute as a patron, that's absolutely fine, because there are still things that you can do. One of the things that would really help this channel, besides subscribing, pressing the like button and watching the content, one of the things you can do is translate my videos, any of them or all of them, the descriptions, the titles, the subtitles, you can translate them into your language. So if you are advanced in your English and you feel confident in translating, and you'd like to help this channel to grow, you'd like to help people in your country to access my lessons and understand my lessons more, maybe their level isn't so good, then you can translate these videos for me, and that could be your gift to the channel to help your countrymen to understand these lessons. And you can do that in the description of this video. I've put a little section that says contribute, and you can see the link, translate my videos, and you go there, click that link, and you'll see which videos need translating into your language. So if you'd like to contribute, then that would be absolutely amazing. I'm sure everybody here would appreciate that. But of course, you don't have to do anything. You could just sit and watch. I really don't mind. But any support to help me, to help everybody, is much appreciated. Okay, I'm going to wrap up now. Before I go, what are you saying on here, Eric? Anna, what about Speak My Language on Instagram? Yeah, so today is the end of May. Obviously, it's the 31st of May, which means I'm closing the competition to find 5 people, 5 viewers, who are going to contribute to a video with me. So start in a video with me, teaching me their language. It's going to be a really fun video. I'm going to be learning lots of languages, 5 different languages, maybe Arabic, Spanish, Chinese, Thai, who knows. But lots of people have entered that competition already, and in the next few days I will gather all of those people together, put them in a box, not the real people, just the names, and then I'll choose 5 people who are going to be the winners of that competition. So I'll make the announcement next week as to who has won that competition. If you do still want to enter, then you have still got a little bit of time too. You just have to head over to the Instagram page. Instagram is all free, everything here is free. On the Instagram page, you'll see me wearing a red coat saying "Speak My Language," and in the description of that post, you'll see all the details of how to enter that competition. So if you'd like to star in a video with me teaching me your language, you have very little time. Go and enter very quickly. All right, my darlings, thank you so much. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you, Hippolyto, once again for your very generous super chat. Please feel free to drop me an email, Hippolyto, and I'll send you the notes for today. And thank you everyone for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you found it helpful. Let's see if we have 230 thumbs. You guys rock. You guys are so cool. Thank you very much. If you haven't already seen the release of the Manchester video today and you are interested in the Manchester accent with the beautiful Cora, then please go and have a look at the video that I released earlier today, and feel free to leave me a comment there and do give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Let's show lots of love for Manchester. Manchester is my hometown. Obviously they've had a bad time recently, but we love Manchester, so let's spread the love and show Manchester that we love them. Okay, so the next lesson is tomorrow. What time? It's in the morning, I think at 11 o'clock in the morning. Is going to be a pronunciation lesson, so I will see you tomorrow at 11. You've been awesome. London loves you. Thank you very much for joining. Take care.